In this video of our Navigating the Website series, we'll be focusing on the ingredient percentage calculator. To get a blank calculator, simply find the green bar that runs across the top of your screen, and on the right hand side, click on the calculator's link, and that will load our various calculators, which are just an easy tool to quickly do math. So on the far right, you'll see ingredient formula percentage calculator, and you can check out our video catalog for videos on amount to percentage calculator and another on the basic calculators. So once you get that loaded, you'll notice that by default the website always loads a 10-line table and 10 pounds of product. So to change that, to add 5 lines, look at the bottom of the table, you'll see a plus sign. Click on that and that will add 5 lines. And if you go back to the bottom of the table, click on the minus sign and that will remove 5 lines. And then for size, you can always type in anything that you'd like. In this case, I'm going to type in 16. And then your next field is units. And here you can change this from pounds to ounces or grams, depending on how you'd like to actually measure this. In my case, I want to make 16 ounces. In your table, you'll see a first column says line, and that's pre-filled by the calculator. The next column says name, that's where you'll type in the name of your ingredient. The next column is percentage, that's where you'll type in the percentage that you want. And then change these to what you'd like and hit the calculate button, and that's all you have to do. So let's say I have a formula that tells me I need 50% water and 50% oil. Use your cursor to click into the first empty field and just type in water. Then hit your tab button to get to the next empty field, or use your cursor to just get directly into the field. And I'm going to type in 50%. Hit your tab button again, that'll take you to the next blank field, or use your cursor. And now I'm going to type in oil. Hit your tab button to get to the next empty field, and I'm typing in 50 again. Always be in the habit of looking at the bottom of your table so that you'll know what exactly has been entered, and always tab out of the last field. This is what lets the calculator know you're moving on. So in this case, my recipe called for 50% water and 50% oil, and I look at the bottom and that tells me my recipe is at 100%. And now you'll see question marks for these two items. That's because we still need to tell the calculator to do the math. And to do that, simply hit or click on the green calculate button, and now the calculator will tell you that to make 16 ounces, and confirm that at the bottom, 16 ounces of your product, when you need 50% water, that's going to be 8 ounces of water, and 50% oil, that's going to be 8 ounces of oil. Now you could also, let's say that you had 3 different kinds of oil, and let's say your first one was jojoba oil. Just go to that field, type in jojoba, hit your tab button, and now you can enter in the amount of jojoba. So in my case, I'm going to say 25%. Type that in, hit your tab button to get to the next empty line, and I'm going to add almond oil. And let's say my recipe tells me that one is at 15%. So type in 15, hit the tab button to get to the next empty box, or use your cursor. And then I'm going to type in apricot kernel oil. And you always want to have your recipes at 100%, but then in this case, my recipe tells me I need 10% apricot kernel oil. Always hit your tab button to get out of the field. And now if you confirm at the bottom, we have 100% entered, and we're going to make 16 ounces. All you have to do, come over here, hit the green calculate button, and that will tell you to make 16 ounces of your product, and 50% is water, that requires 8 ounces, 25% is jojoba, that requires 4 ounces, 15% is almond, and that requires 2.4 ounces, 10% is apricot kernel, and that would be 1.6 ounces. But let's say that you actually wanted to do this in a 5-pound size. Go to your size box, highlight it, and delete the information. Type in a 5, and now use the arrow to open up your unit and just scroll down to pounds. Click that, then hit the calculate button. And now it's done the math, and it's telling you that to make 5 pounds, and confirm that at the bottom, 5 pounds of this product, 50% water is equal to 2.5 pounds, 25% jojoba is equal to 1.25 pounds, 15% almond equals 0.75 pounds, and 10% apricot kernel equals 1/2 pound. And now, keep in mind that the website never saves any formulas from the calculator, so anytime you need to save this, always print it. And to do that, right above your table, you'll see 2 links here. One is need help or more info, and the other one says print formula. If you click on that, it will populate everything you've just entered into a little PDF that you can easily print or take to an external station. That's how you load an empty calculator from the calculator line. So the other way that you'll use these percentage calculators is through the formulary. In our categories on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see all our different categories. The first one is the formulary/starter recipes. This is where we've got all beginner recipes. So let's click on that, and then you'll see the different categories, and right now I'm going to click on hair care because I'd like to make a conditioner. So I'm going to just click on the first one, which is aloe cream conditioner recipe. Once you load that recipe, you'll notice in the very top is a description of the actual resulting product. And if you scroll through here, you'll see that we're highlighting all the different ingredients being used. That is so that you have an idea of why they're in the recipe, so that you can easily swap those out and modify this formula to better suit your needs. So if you scroll down in the middle, you'll see the recipe, and we've got each phase and the percent of each ingredient being used. And then if you scroll down, you'll see directions. So let's say you're looking at this recipe and you see that it calls for 3% vegetable glycerin, but you don't want to use vegetable glycerin. The easiest way to make this modification, if you'll notice on our recipes, every single one of them on the right-hand side has a pencil icon. If you click on that pencil, it will load the percentage calculator automatically, and it'll be pre-filled with the recipe you just came from. It is always going to start at 100 grams, which you can change just by opening the drop down. You can change to pounds or ounces. And so we look over here and we see vegetable glycerin at 3%. So use your cursor, highlight the vegetable glycerin, then hit your delete button or just type over it. And since vegetable glycerin is a moisturizing agent, I'm going to use Veggie Moist because it also offers moisture and it's also pure and natural. And I'm going to leave that at 3%. And now you'll notice a blue highlight around the border of that ingredient. That's because at this point you've changed Veggie Moist, but it's only changed on your screen because you haven't done anything with the calculator yet to tell the calculator to do anything. So let's say if you clicked up here right above the table to print formula, see, it's still going to load with vegetable glycerin. That's because as far as the computer knows, that's all that you've done so far. So let's close that. To get it to actually make this change in the formula, we're going to hit the green calculate button. And now you'll see Veggie Moist at 3%. And if you click on print formula, now it will show Veggie Moist. And you can use this calculator to do anything that you want. Let's say that you wanted to use a combination of meadow foam seed oil and apricot kernel oil. And so you'll notice you're out of lines. And remember, the plus and minus at the bottom of the table is going to add 5 lines if you hit plus, or subtract 5 lines if you hit minus. So I'm going to hit the plus button, and down here I'm going to type in, by clicking the cursor in the first empty field, I'm going to type in apricot kernel oil. And now, if you scroll back up, Apricot kernel oil is going to be, let's say, 1% of this. So change the meadow foam seed oil to 2 and add 1 for apricot kernel. Always hit your tab button to get out of the field and let the computer know you're moving on. You'll see the question marks, meaning it hasn't done the calculation yet. So come up, hit your calculate button, and there you have it. Now it's calling for 2% meadow foam seed oil. When you're making 100 grams, that's going to be 2 grams. And 1% apricot kernel, again, when you're making 100 grams, that's 1 gram. If we wanted to change this to, let's say, 16 ounces, we could just highlight the 100, type in 16, open the drop down, highlight ounces, and you'll notice if you look at the bottom it still says 100 grams. That's because so far all we've done is made these changes on our screen. So now hit the green calculate button, scroll down to confirm, and you'll see we've got 100%, and now it's 16 ounces. It's as easy as that. And so you can use these calculators as a very fast, efficient way to do the math for you. We hope you enjoy them. Thank you for watching. Happy crafting!